Inside Out is the newest animated film from Pixar directed by Pete Docter. Pete Docter also directed the movies Up and Monsters Inc. With both these movies being very deeply emotional while keeping the great storytelling and the funny aspects to it, I was very much looking forward to Inside Out. Now, this film tells the story of a young girl named Riley who is uprooted from her town in Minnesota and brought to San Francisco due to a job for her dad. It shows how Riley's emotions run wild with this new change in environment. However, when joy and sadness are taken to the long-term memory area of Riley's brain, leaving only anger, fear, and disgust to control all of Riley's emotions, it causes havoc among her in a new city. Meanwhile, joy and sadness constantly maneuver through Riley's long-term memory to try and get back to her emotion control room. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This might be the best Pixar movie that's ever been created, ever. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Finding Nemo might be able to compete with it, but Inside Out was really one of the most impactful animated movies I've seen in forever. Now, the characters in this movie are brilliant. Though you have the 5 main emotions throughout that you follow around, the main person that they're all a part of is Riley. And Riley is depicted in such a way in this film that it's great. Now, Riley's character is one of the best characters that I've ever seen in a Pixar movie. It really is a real character that can be relatable to in real life. And with Riley being in a time like this when she is adapting to a new city she's never been in before and all of her friends being away from her, it's a very, very difficult time when you don't have anything that actually makes you happy. Riley's character is also really great because everyone who sees this film can almost relate to her in many different ways, because there have been dark times in a lot of people's lives where they felt like Riley, with nothing that brings them happiness and everything is just a downhill slope. And even for adults, this could have happened when they were kids, and kids might be dealing with this today or might have already dealt with it, so it's a very strong presence throughout this film. Now, while all 5 emotions in this movie play a big part, joy and sadness end up actually playing bigger parts than the other 3. Their constant mission is to try and get back to the control room so that they can help Riley's life as they see it unfold amongst them. Now, joy is always a delight to have through this adventure. She always is trying to get back to Riley because she deeply cares about Riley. She cares about what happens in her life, and she really wants Riley to be happy. So the fact that she's not there and she can slowly see how Riley's life is becoming undone, her constant pursuit is really fun, and it's really moving to see how much she cares for Riley. Now, with a character by the name of Sadness, you wouldn't expect them to be the brightest person throughout this film or to bring a lot of joy, but actually Sadness might be the funniest aspect to this movie. While joy is always full of hope that they'll be able to get back to Riley's control center, sadness is always filled with hopelessness that leads her to just pretty much being dragged around the entire film with nothing but sadness within. And since joy and sadness are counterparts, it's fun and funny to see the battle between them. I won't go any further than that because we might get into a spoiler zone. All I'm saying is that you should look out for this when you go watch the movie. Now, anger, fear, and disgust are also 3 very funny characters. Now, Anger is a character that pretty much, as you would expect, that when he doesn't hear something he likes, she pretty much is a ticking time bomb until he goes full out explosion on Anger. And when Anger actually reaches the point where he explodes, though it might be funny in the aspect of seeing him do that, without the idea of joy, Riley's character is slowly unraveling and becoming a darker person, and it's kind of a sad part to see. Now, Disgust's character, pretty much whenever they hear about something that they don't really like or they see something they don't really like, they are always just trying to block it out with negativity instead of trying to think of new ways to think of it positively. And so things like you've seen in the trailer, like broccoli, is a disgusting thing to them. Or when they're talking about the first day of school, she doesn't want to talk about it, so she's disgusted and she starts using sarcasm. And in a city like this, where she's never seen a lot of these things before, a lot of things tend to disgust Riley throughout the film. And the fact that a lot of the time Riley's already mad about something, disgust comes into a lot of her emotions more than if she wasn't as angry all the time. Now, I think Fear's character is one of the biggest aspects to this film regarding real life. As Riley is in a new town where she doesn't know anyone and she doesn't know what she's going to do there, and she misses her old town, fear comes into her life a lot more than it should. And due to this fact, she is constantly afraid of things, and she's afraid to try and reach out of her own little bubble of anger and disgust towards things. And this fear is a constant reminder of how much she is in despair about leaving her own hometown and how much her life is getting changed around her. As I said before, this movie is super relatable. So due to that relatableness, this movie, when it shows all the conflict going on, you can't help but feel something that you felt before when you were actually in her shoes. And that really, it's hard to comprehend throughout the film, but it's really great at the same time. It's fulfilling to what this movie is trying to set out to do. And overall, this movie ends up being one of the most, if not the most, real movie Pixar has ever made, and in my honest opinion, one of the best movies they've made, at least the best one in years. Also, as regularly, the Pixar animation for this is amazing. Guys, I'm going to try and not give this rating out to a lot of films as I review them for this year, but I can honestly say that Inside Out is a 5-star rating. This film was deeply moving. It was deeply funny. I was busting a gut laughing throughout many different scenes. It's smart, and you just really feel for everyone in this entire movie. Guys, seriously, go out this weekend and go watch this movie. You will not be disappointed at all, I promise you. It's literally some of the best work Pixar has done in years. But as always, I want to hear from you guys. So have you guys seen Inside Out yet? What did you think of the film? How did it relate to all the other Pixar films that have come out in the past, what is it now, almost 20 years? Whatever you thought about it, comment below and let me know what you thought. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.